Today's message is incredibly important as it contains a practical action that you are being encouraged to take to support your manifestation. If you're having trouble creating from your will on the physical plane, this might be why. Welcome to Brave Tarot. Who am I? It doesn't matter, but one day you'll find out. And today's message is about autopilot. That is the word that keeps coming up, and I'm going to dive in to exactly what I'm being shown about this state and what you need to understand. It is imperative that you start to notice the times in your life where you are falling into an automated mode. This can be zoning out when you're making food. It can be the state your mind goes to when you're on your device or you're multitasking. But it's a feeling of somnambulance. That means a sense of being asleep while awake. And this is the key to a major upgrade in your system. Take note of all of the times where your consciousness or your state of awareness falls into this somnambulant mode, because this is very important, because it's a state of dissociation or a splitting of the consciousness. You could call it an alter, like an alter ego. For you, I'm being shown the way that you dismiss the significance of this other state you go to in your energy. It might feel like a state of laziness or of letting go, but this is a key indicator that you might be dissociating. It's nothing to be afraid of, and it's easy to bring yourself back, but it's an avoidance of your own life force and a drifting of the mind to another place. These can be places that we found in infancy, in times of shock or events of trauma. But think of it like a straw that goes out into the cosmos from the center of your brain or even the center of your stomach, right? The source of your life force has a straw pierced inside of it that connects all the way out into the cosmos, and some force is drinking from your body and transporting your life force, your energy, to another place. It doesn't matter where that place is, and that place can even be a place that you created, but it is not happening here and now in your body, in this physical body, on the earth plane. And so it matters that you call these fragments of your consciousness back into your body, right? Sometimes people call them soul aspects, right? Parts of you that you leave behind in different places and calling them all back at the end of a meditation. It's just like that, but it's not as complicated. You don't need to do some big conscious act to bring this part of you back. You just need to start to notice when you're drifting into that state in daily life. Because as soon as you drift, all of your commitment to your manifestation, all of what you're building here and now, it gets sharded into pieces, and it is harder to grow things because your consciousness is in two places at once, and things that you're trying to do here and trying to affect change in here on earth then get relayed to this copy elsewhere. And I don't mean to sound super sci-fi wackadoo about that. It's more a place that you're creating with your own subconscious mind And instead of channeling your intention and your focus into the one thing you actually do want, some of that intention and focus ends up at a distant place that you can't keep tabs on. And that doesn't have to be something terrible, horrifying. It's literally just a part of your brain that's being left open. It's like leaving the fridge door open and going on holidays and hoping that your cheesecake stays fresh. It's like that. So where should your consciousness come from? Well, it might feel like it emanates from your solar plexus or your heart. It's firstly important to notice when your mind is thinking about more than one thing at once. It's the multitasking mind that you really want to be aware of. Always try to be exactly where you are. Say you are preparing dinner. You're not thinking about tomorrow and what you're going to wear. You're thinking about your hand on the knife, cutting the carrots and putting them into the bowl, and engaging with the essence of that sensation, which is really boring. And the reason why we split our consciousness is to entertain ourselves because of the pain of being in the forms, and obviously making dinner isn't a traumatizing thing, but being that embodied can remind your subconscious of a time when you were younger, where you were willing to be that embodied and something bad happened. So it is natural to want to split off and dissociate, even when you don't consciously intend to. The higher up it's coming from, the more ungrounded it is. So a good place to follow your awareness is to let it emerge from the body, really in the body, not the mind, and feeling the heart or your chest, maybe your arms and your hands. The hands are very tied to our creations and our needs and wants. But starting to use your body as a compass between warm and cold, what feels good to me, what feels bad. And a really easy exercise to do this is when you think of going somewhere, or if you're trying to decide between two things, right? You just ask yourself, how does it feel to be there? You're deciding between going to this party or staying home, and you ask your body, not your mind, to show you the emotion that comes up. And if you feel warm and secure when you think of the party, but you feel rigid and isolated when you think of staying home, that's your signal of where to go. I keep being brought back to this image of you and your mind, and it might be a directive, like a practical piece of advice of how you can feel this state I'm talking about, because it feels like I need to keep hammering in the importance of it because of its nature, right? It is a sleepy, lazy state. And so even when I talk about it and when I call it out and point it out, it will start to cloud itself while you're even listening to this. You'll start to feel it coming up. And the way it shows itself in my mind's eye is it's like a ball, like a ball of white noise, magnetic white noise. Have you ever drawn on a doodle pad? I think that's what they call it. Where you, it's like a magnetic whiteboard that you can write on with a little special magnetic pen, and then you wipe it out. It feels like that. When you wipe it out, it's got that scattered, tiny little magnets feeling to it. And maybe as I speak into it, you can start to feel or remember times from the past week where you were falling into that mode. You'll know what I'm talking about. And you'll think that, well, it's okay to be there. And though there's no urgency here, there never should be with spirit. If a tarot reader is giving you a message of urgency, that usually means it's not coming from an earthly or a positive source. But if there was a feeling behind this message, it's to really turn your head to this state of mind and state of being. Because what's behind it is more vast, more potent, and more subconsciously effective than you may realize. So that's all that wants to come through today. Be very kind to yourself in doing this work, and remember that it's not a big, explosive, singular event. It is in every little moment, just 1% increase your awareness of where you're at, where your body's at, where your mind is at, and notice when you start to pull away from reality and why you're doing that. Take care, be brave, leave a comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading.